The moment I pulled into my driveway after a grueling 2-week business trip, I knew something was wrong. My mother's prized ceramic garden gnomes dotted my front lawn like silent sentinels, and Dad's ancient Buick was parked where my recycling bins should have been. I'm Alia, and at 33, I'd spent the last decade building my life exactly how I wanted it. My house, my sanctuary, was the result of countless overtime hours and careful saving. But apparently, while I was away closing the biggest deal of my career, my parents had decided to make themselves at home. Without asking, the front door creaked open before I could even grab my suitcase from the trunk. "Welcome home, sweetie." Mom's voice carried across the yard, sugary sweet as always when she wanted something. "We've been waiting for you." I froze, my hand still on my luggage. "Mom, what's going on?" She waved dismissively, already turning back inside. Come in, come in. Your father's watching his shows in the den." The den. My home office was now the den. I dragged my suitcase inside, the wheels catching on the new welcome mat I definitely hadn't bought. The interior stopped me dead in my tracks. Family photos I'd never hung covered the walls. Mom's gaudy decorative plates lined my minimalist shelving units. The subtle sage green walls I'd carefully chosen were now an aggressive sunshine yellow. "Mom," I managed, my voice tight. "What happened to my walls?" "Oh, they were so dreary before. I knew you'd love this color once you saw it." She bustled around the kitchen, my kitchen, pulling out casserole dishes I'd never owned. "We've been here about 10 days now. Your father's retirement started earlier than expected, and our lease was up, so he thought, why not? Why not ask me first?" I set my laptop bag down carefully, counting to 10 in my head. "Ask you? Don't be silly. We're family." She laughed like I'd told a particularly amusing joke. "Family doesn't need to ask permission. Besides, we knew you'd say yes." Dad shuffled in from my office, the den, still wearing his ancient slippers. "Hey, kiddo, your mother's made her famous pot roast." "Dad?" I tried to keep my voice level. "You can't just move in without talking to me first." "Already done now, isn't it?" He shrugged, settling into my favorite reading chair. "Your mother's got everything arranged just right. You'll see, it'll be nice having us here." "Nice?" I echoed, watching Mom rearrange my carefully organized kitchen drawers. "This is my house, my space. You can't just, Alia Franklin, don't you take that tone with us." Mom cut in, her voice sharp. "After everything we've done for you, all those years of raising you, putting you through college." "I paid for college myself," I reminded her. "Every penny of it, just like I paid for this house." "Well, we gave you the values that made that possible." She sniffed. "Now, wash up for dinner. I made your favorite dessert, too, that apple pie you loved as a child." I haven't liked apple pie since I was 12. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a text from my brother Josiah. "Hey, sis, heard Mom and Dad pulled their latest stunt." "You okay?" I typed back quickly. "No, not okay. Call you later." Looking up, I caught Mom watching me expectantly, that familiar guilt-inducing smile on her face. The same one she'd worn when she'd borrowed my car for 3 months last year. When she'd given my savings account information to my cousin for an emergency. When she'd volunteered me to host every family gathering for the past 5 years. "I need to unpack," I said, grabbing my suitcase. "And shower, long flight. But dinner, we'll wait." I headed for the stairs, then stopped. "Mom, Dad, this isn't permanent. We need to talk about this. Soon." "Of course, sweetie," Mom called after me, her tone dismissive. "Whatever you say." In my bedroom, the only space they hadn't invaded yet. I closed the door and leaned against it, sliding down to sit on the floor. My hands were shaking as I pulled out my phone again, this time to text my friend Alina. "Need lawyer recommendations. ASAP." The response came quickly. Half all, I took a deep breath and typed. Time to finally draw some boundaries. Hard ones. Downstairs I could hear Mom humming as she continued rearranging my life without permission. But this time would be different. This time, I wasn't going to smile and accept it. This time, I was going to fight back. And they weren't going to see it coming. The next morning I escaped to work early, desperate for some semblance of normalcy. My colleague Tyler was already at his desk, eyebrows rising as I dropped into my chair with an exhausted sigh. "Rough night?" he asked, sliding a coffee my way. "You look like you've seen a ghost." "Worse. My parents have invaded my house." I took a grateful sip. "Remember last year when I told you about my mom borrowing my car? The 3-month borrowing that turned into her selling it and keeping the money? Yeah, hard to forget that one." I rubbed my temples. "This is worse. They've moved in, without asking, repainted my walls, rearranged everything. My mom turned my home office into my dad's den." Tyler whistled low. "And you're letting them stay?" "I don't know what to do," I admitted. Every time I try to stand up to them, Mom pulls the "after everything we've done for you" card. Like what? Making you take out student loans while they bought a timeshare? Tyler's voice dripped with sarcasm. Or maybe when they borrowed your emergency fund for your cousin's pyramid scheme. Don't forget the time they volunteered my house for Uncle Robert's wedding reception, without telling me, on a Tuesday. And you had to cater it yourself, Tyler added, while taking sick days from work. My phone buzzed. Another text from Mom. Honey, we need your credit card for some new curtains. The ones you have are too modern. I showed Tyler the message, and he shook his head. You know what this is, right? Financial abuse, emotional manipulation. If they were anyone but your parents, you'd have called the cops already. I know, but no buts. Tyler turned his chair to face me fully. Remember when you first started here? You were so worried about proving yourself that you let everyone dump their work on you. What did I tell you then? That being nice doesn't mean being a doormat, I recited. Exactly. And what did you do? I started saying no, set boundaries. I smiled slightly at the memory, became the youngest project manager in company history. So why are your parents different? I stared at my coffee cup. Because every time I try to stand up to them, I remember being 10 years old, asking for new shoes because mine had holes, and Mom saying we couldn't afford it. Then watching her buy herself a new purse the next day. Jesus, Aliyah. Yeah, I pulled out my phone again, showing him another text from last night. But I think I'm done. I texted my friend Aliyah for lawyer recommendations. Tyler's face lit up. Now that's the Aliyah I know. The one who closed the Martinez deal last week. The one who doesn't take crap from anyone. Except my parents, I muttered. Not anymore, he corrected. Look, I know a good lawyer. She specializes in tenant law. Want her number? My phone buzzed again. Mom. Also, we invited the whole family for Sunday dinner. Hope you don't mind cooking. Something inside me snapped. I thought about all the times I'd given in. All the times I'd smiled through gritted teeth while they took and took and took. The college fund they'd borrowed for a vacation. The countless family events I'd been voluntold to host. The boundaries they'd steamrolled over and over again. Give me the number, I said firmly. Tyler grinned, already dialing. Hey, Sarah, got a potential client for you. Can you squeeze her in today? 20 minutes later, I had an appointment for my lunch break. You're doing the right thing, Tyler assured me as I gathered my things to leave. They're counting on you being too nice to fight back. Time to show them they're wrong. I know, I said quietly. I just wish that they'd be actual parents. Yeah, I get it. He squeezed my shoulder. But you can't change them. You can only change how you respond to them. As I headed for the elevator, my phone buzzed one more time. A text from Josiah. Mom just called me, complaining that you're being difficult. Whatever you're planning, I've got your back, sis. For the first time since coming home to find my parents had invaded my space, I felt something other than anxiety and dread. I felt hope. And underneath that hope, something else was building. A determination that had helped me succeed in every other area of my life. It was time to apply that same determination to my family situation. Time to stop being the dutiful daughter they could walk all over. Time to be the strong, successful woman I was in every other aspect of my life. Time to take back my home. Sarah's law office was exactly what I needed. Professional, direct, and completely unsentimental about my situation. She listened to my story without the pitying looks I'd grown used to, taking notes in sharp, precise strokes. It's actually quite straightforward, she said, sliding a document across her desk. They have no lease, no rental agreement, and no legal right to be there. You can issue a formal eviction notice today. Just like that? Just like that. They'll have 30 days to vacate. She tapped her pen against the paper. Though given what you've told me, I'd recommend changing your locks immediately and installing security cameras. My stomach churned. You think they might? People get unpredictable when their safety net disappears. Even family, especially family. A knock at her office door interrupted us. Her assistant poked her head in. Sorry to interrupt, but there's a Josiah here? Says he's your brother? I jumped up. Is everything okay? Josiah burst in, looking worried. Mom's on the warpath. She's talking about putting the house up for sale. She can't do that, Sarah interjected smoothly. The property is solely in Aaliyah's name. Thank God. Josiah collapsed into the chair next to mine. Sorry for barging in, but when I heard her on the phone with a realtor. Wait, she's actually trying to sell my house? My voice rose. Without even talking to me? She says it's for the best, since you're clearly not ready for home ownership. He made air quotes, rolling his eyes. You know how she gets. Sarah's pen scratched across her legal pad. This actually strengthens our case. Attempting to sell property they don't own shows clear intent to interfere with your property rights. I can't believe they'd go this far, I muttered. Really? Josiah raised an eyebrow. Remember when they tried to arrange your marriage to that guy from their church? Or when Mom accidentally canceled your college applications because she thought you should stay home? Sarah looked up sharply. Pattern of controlling behavior, noted. I'll help you serve the papers, Josiah offered. And I've got videos of Mom bragging about moving in without permission, plus screenshots of her texts about selling the house. You're really on my side with this? I asked quietly. Always have been, sis. He squeezed my hand. Someone needs to stand up to them. Might as well be us. Sarah printed out the final documents, explaining each one as I signed. Remember, once these are served, the 30-day clock starts ticking. They might try to negotiate, delay, or manipulate. Don't engage. Direct all communication through my office. That evening Josiah and I sat in my car outside my house, our parents' cars taking up the entire driveway. The eviction notice felt heavy in my hands. Ready? Josiah asked. No, I admitted. But I'm doing it anyway. We walked in to find Mom hosting what looked like an impromptu family gathering. Aunt Linda and Uncle Robert sat on my couch, while Mom showed off her new curtain selections. Oh, sweetie. Mom beamed. Perfect timing. We're planning a little renovation for the kitchen. Nothing major. Just knocking down that unnecessary wall? No. My voice came out stronger than I expected. You're not renovating anything. Don't be silly. It'll look so much better. This is for you and Dad. I held out the envelope. It's an eviction notice. You have 30 days to leave. The room went silent. Mom's face cycled through shock, hurt, and anger, before settling on her familiar manipulation smile. Very funny, honey. Now, about the kitchen. It's not a joke. Josiah stepped forward. She's serious, Mom. Dad looked up from his newspaper. Now, kiddo, let's not be hasty. Hasty, I laughed. You moved into my house without asking. You're trying to sell it without my permission. You're planning renovations I don't want and can't afford. This isn't hasty. This is long overdue. After everything we've done for you, Mom's voice rose. This is how you repay us? Everything you've done for me, my voice shook. Like using my college fund for your timeshare? Or selling my car and keeping the money? Or maybe you mean all the times you volunteered my house, my time, and my money without asking? Aunt Linda and Uncle Robert quietly gathered their things and slipped out. Mom stared at the envelope like it might bite her. You have 30 days, I repeated. After that, anything left behind becomes my property to dispose of as I see fit. You can't do this to us, Mom whispered. Actually, I can and I am. I turned to leave, then stopped. Oh, and Mom, if you call another realtor about my house, my lawyer will be in touch. As Josiah and I walked out, I heard Mom burst into tears, the same theatrical sobs she'd used to manipulate us our whole lives. But for the first time they didn't make me feel guilty. They made me feel free. Josiah and I retreated to a local diner, the kind of place Mom would never set foot in because it wasn't refined enough. The vinyl booth squeaked as we slid in, and the coffee was terrible, but it felt safer than my own home right now. Your phone's blowing up too, Josiah asked, glancing at my constantly vibrating phone. 17 missed calls from Mom, 12 from Dad, and about 30 texts from various relatives telling me what a horrible daughter I am. I turned my phone face down. You? Mom's called me 6 times to tell me I'm choosing the wrong side. Dad sent one text asking if I know what I'm doing. He stirred his coffee absently. Did I ever tell you why I moved across the country for college? I always assumed it was for the program. Nah, the program at State was actually better. He leaned back. I left because I watched what they did to you, how they'd take, and you'd give until there was nothing left. I was terrified they'd do the same to me. Why didn't you ever say anything? Same reason you never did. Guilt. Fear. The way Mom can make you feel like the worst person in the world for having boundaries. He pulled out his phone showing me a text. Like this gem from 10 minutes ago. Your sister is breaking your father's heart. He might not survive this stress. Dad's heart is fine, I snorted. He just had a checkup last month. Yeah, but watch. Next will come the your father's blood pressure texts. Then the he's not sleeping updates. And finally, the if anything happens to him, it's your fault, grand finale. My phone buzzed again. Alina this time. I answered on speaker. Girl, your mother just called me. Alina's voice crackled through. Wanted me to talk some sense into you. I told her I fully support your decision and she hung up on me. She's working her way through my contact list. I sighed. Did she try the heart condition story? No, she went with we'll be homeless this time. I reminded her they have plenty of money from selling your car last year. Josiah choked on his coffee. Damn, Alina. You really said that? Someone had to. I've watched them take advantage of Alia for years. Remember when they borrowed her emergency fund and gave it to that cousin for his pyramid scheme? Or when they volunteered my house for Uncle Robert's wedding? I finished. Yes, we've been cataloging their greatest hits. Speaking of hits, Josiah pulled up his phone's gallery. I've got videos of Mom bragging about moving in without permission. Want to see? The video showed Mom at some family gathering, laughing as she described how they'd surprised me. She's so focused on her career, she needs us to take care of her house properly, video Mom said. We didn't ask because she would have said no, and really, what kind of daughter says no to her parents? Send that to Sarah, I said immediately, and any other videos you have. Already did, along with screenshots of Mom's texts about selling your house. He paused. You know this is going to get worse before it gets better, right? I know. I finally checked my messages. Oh look, right on schedule, Dad's blood pressure is apparently through the roof. Called it, Josiah grinned. Want to bet on when the not sleeping text comes? You two are handling this surprisingly well, Alina observed. Because for the first time we're not handling it alone, I realized. We've got each other, we've got you, we've got legal backup. We've got proof, Josiah added. Hard to gaslight us when we've got receipts. My phone lit up with another call, this time from Tyler. Hey, how'd it go? About as well as expected. Mom's working her way through my contact list, Dad's supposedly dying of stress, and half the family thinks I'm Satan incarnate. So, a normal Tuesday for your family? Tyler laughed. Need me to be your work alibi tomorrow? Please, I'm not ready to face them again yet. You know, Josiah said after I hung up. This is the first time I've seen you smile while talking about them. Usually you get this tight look around your eyes, like you're bracing for impact. Usually I am. I straightened up, but not anymore. I'm done being their safety net, their ATM, their free event planner and their doormat. Speaking of doormats, Alina chimed in from the speaker. Your mom apparently bought new ones for your house. Pink flamingos, I groaned. Of course she did. Add it to the list of things they've done to my house without permission. Already did. Josiah held up a notebook. We're up to 17 violations of your property rights in just 2 weeks. Sarah's gonna love this. For the first time since this all started, I felt truly confident in my decision. Looking at my brother's supportive grin, and hearing Alina's fierce loyalty through the phone, I knew I wasn't just fighting for my house anymore. I was fighting for myself. 3 days after serving the eviction notice, I came home to find Mom had organized an intervention in my living room. Aunts, uncles and various family friends filled my furniture, all wearing expressions of concerned disappointment. Honey, Mom started, her voice wobbling perfectly. We're all here because we're worried about you. No, I cut in, dropping my work bag. You're all here because Mom told you her version of events. Did she mention moving in without asking? Or trying to sell my house without my permission? Aunt Linda shifted uncomfortably. Nancy, you said you had permission. Of course we had permission. Mom waved dismissively. Were her parents? Being my parents doesn't give you the right to take over my life. I pulled out my phone. Josiah, you recording this? Yep. My brother emerged from the kitchen. Phone held high. Got it all, including Mom's admission that she thinks being a parent means automatic permission. You're recording us? Uncle Robert sputtered. This is a private family matter. Nothing's private anymore, I said firmly. Not after Mom called my boss trying to get me fired so I'd be more dependent on family. The room went silent. Even Mom looked shocked that I knew about that. Oh yeah, Josiah added cheerfully. My friend in HR forwarded that voicemail to me. Want to hear it, everyone? Mom's very creative with her concerns about Aaliyah's mental stability. I was trying to help, Mom protested weakly. Help? I laughed. Like when you helped by selling my car? Or helping yourself to my emergency fund? Or maybe like you're helping now by trying to force me out of my own house? Dad finally spoke up from his corner. Kiddo, we just thought, that's the problem, Dad. You never think. You just go along with whatever Mom wants, even when it hurts your kids. We've given you everything. Mom's voice rose sharply. Everything we had went to giving you opportunities. Really? I pulled out Sarah's folder. Here's my college loan statements, my car payments, my mortgage documents, everything I've earned myself while you took credit for it. Aunt Linda stood up suddenly. Nancy, you told us you paid for her college. We contributed, Mom faltered. By contributing, do you mean the college fund you emptied for your timeshare? Josiah asked innocently. Because I have those bank statements too. One by one, the family members began to look uncomfortable. Uncle Robert checked his watch and muttered about needing to leave. Aunt Linda was scrolling through her phone, probably finding all the times Mom had bragged about their contributions to my success. You're turning our family against us, Mom accused, tears starting right on cue. No mom, your lies are doing that all on their own. 25 days, Josiah announced cheerfully. That's how long you have to find a new place. Might want to start packing instead of organizing family ambushes. We're not leaving, Dad said firmly. This is our home now. Actually, I pulled out another document. Sarah filed a restraining order this morning. If you're not out in 25 days, the sheriff will remove you. You do that to your own parents? Mom's voice cracked perfectly. You tried to get me fired, I reminded her. To make me dependent on you. That's when I realized this isn't about family. It's about control. The remaining relatives were quietly gathering their things, avoiding eye contact. Mom's carefully orchestrated intervention was crumbling around her. Linda, Robert, wait. She called desperately. You can't leave. We need to show Aliyah how unreasonable she's being. Aunt Linda paused at the door. Nancy, you lied to us. You lied about paying for her college, about having permission to move in. What else have you lied about? I never. Mom started, but Josiah was already playing a video on his phone. Mom bragging about moving in while I was away, laughing about how I couldn't stop them now. The last relatives fled, leaving just my parents, Josiah and me. 25 days, I repeated. And if anything else in this house is damaged, sold or renovated without my permission, Sarah will add it to the civil suit. Civil suit? Dad paled. For the car you sold, the emergency fund you took, and the property damage you've already done. I headed for the stairs. I'm staying at Alina's until you leave. Josiah has cameras set up throughout the house, so don't get any ideas. We're your parents, Mom tried one last time. You can't just, actually, I can. And I am. I grabbed my overnight bag, already packed, knowing this confrontation was coming. You taught me that family is everything, Mom. You just never expected me to realize that includes respecting myself. As Josiah and I walked out, we could hear Mom starting to cry again. But this time, there was no audience to manipulate. No one to turn against me. Just the sound of consequences finally catching up to her. The security camera notification pinged on my phone while I was at work. Mom was removing paintings from my walls, not her decorations, but my original artwork. I watched in real time as she carefully wrapped each piece. They're stealing my art now, I told Tyler, showing him the feed. Call Sarah, he said immediately, document everything. Before I could dial, my phone rang, Dad's number. I put it on speaker. Your mother's just packing some old family heirlooms, he started without preamble. Those paintings aren't heirlooms, Dad. I painted them myself, in college, the college I paid for. Well, he hedged. Your mother feels they'd be better appreciated in her care. Put her on the phone. Mom's voice came through, sickly sweet. Honey, I just think, put my paintings back, or I call the police, right now. You wouldn't dare. I pulled up the non-emergency line on my office phone. Try me. Through the security feed, I watched Mom slowly return each painting, muttering under her breath the entire time. Tyler gave me a thumbs up. 19 days left. I reminded them before hanging up. That evening Josiah met me at Alina's place with takeout and updates. Mom's called every realtor in town, he reported. They all turned her down after Sarah sent them warning letters. How's Dad handling it? Actually, Josiah pulled out his phone. He called me earlier. Listen. He played a voice message. Son, I know we've made mistakes. Your mother? She means well, but maybe we went too far this time. Call me back? He's cracking, Alina observed from her kitchen. Your mom's starting to lose her grip on him. My phone buzzed, another security alert. Mom was in my home office, going through my files. That's it. I dialed Sarah's number. They've gone too far. Within an hour we were back at my house with a police escort. Mom was still in my office, papers spread across the desk. Mrs. Franklin, the officer called out. You need to step away from those documents. Mom spun around clutching some papers. These prove Aliyah owes us all the money we've spent on her. Those are my private financial records, I cut in. And my work documents. You're committing several crimes right now. Officer, Dad appeared in the doorway. This is just a family disagreement. This is breaking and entering theft and corporate espionage. Sarah corrected, stepping forward. My client specifically revoked your access to her home office. You can't revoke our access, we live here. Illegally, the officer pointed out. You were served an eviction notice. This room was specifically marked as off limits in that notice. Mom's face crumpled. We just wanted to prove that you've been financially supporting me. I grabbed the papers from her hands. These prove the opposite. Every loan I've paid off. Every car payment. Every mortgage payment. All while you were taking money from me. We're your parents, she shrieked. Everything you have is because of us. No, Josiah stepped forward. Everything she has is despite you. Dad touched Mom's arm. Nancy, maybe we should. Don't you dare take their side. She whirled on him. After everything we've sacrificed, what exactly have you sacrificed? I demanded. Name one thing you've given up for me. One thing you've actually done to help me succeed. The silence was deafening. Mrs. Franklin, the officer said quietly. You need to leave this room now. You can either respect the eviction notice and remain in the permitted areas of the house for the next 19 days. Or you can be removed immediately. Your choice. Mom looked around wildly, finding no allies. Even Dad was backing away, his face troubled. Fine, she spat. Take your precious papers, but don't come crying to us when you realize family is all you have. That's exactly what I realized, I said calmly, which is why I'm protecting myself from you. After Mom stormed out, Dad lingered in the doorway. Kiddo, I never meant for things to get this far. But you let them, Dad. You always let them. He nodded slowly. I'll start packing tomorrow, and I'll make sure your mother doesn't touch anything else. After they left, Sarah helped me gather my scattered documents while the officer wrote up his report. 19 days, Alina mused, helping me reorganize my files. Want to bet they try something else before then? No bet, Josiah and I said simultaneously. But something had shifted. Dad's quiet surrender, Mom's desperate document search. They were running out of options, running out of ways to manipulate the situation, running out of time. I locked my office door, knowing they'd probably try again tomorrow. But for the first time, I wasn't worried. They were finally realizing I wasn't their safety net anymore. I was their wake-up call. 5 days before the eviction deadline, my security cameras caught Mom trying to remove my grandmother's antique mirror, the only family heirloom I actually owned, gifted directly to me in Grandma's will. Don't you dare, I said from the doorway, making her jump. That's not yours to take. Your grandmother would be ashamed of you, Mom shot back, still gripping the mirror, throwing your parents out on the street. You have a fully paid-for condo in Florida, I reminded her, the one you bought with my car money. That's different, this is our home now. No, it's not. I stepped closer. And if you don't let go of that mirror right now, I'm calling the police, again. Dad appeared behind me. Nancy, leave the mirror, please. You're taking her side again? Mom's voice rose to that familiar pitch that usually made us all back down. Not this time. I'm taking the side of not getting arrested. Dad said quietly, we've gone too far, Nancy. Way too far. We haven't gone far enough. She yanked the mirror, sending it crashing to the floor. The shattering sound echoed through the house. 7 years of bad luck, Grandma would have said. But watching Mom's face as she realized what she'd done, I felt nothing but relief. It was over. Officer Martinez? I spoke into my phone. Yes, they're destroying property again. Yes, I have it on video. Mom's face went pale. You were on the phone this whole time? Ever since the security system alerted me, you were touching my things. Again. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Dad sank into a chair, head in his hands. Nancy, pack a bag, we're leaving, now. We most certainly are not. Yes, we are. His voice was firm for the first time in my memory. I'm not getting arrested because you can't accept that we were wrong. Wrong? She laughed hysterically. Wrong to help our daughter? Wrong to want to be close to her? Wrong to move in without asking, he countered. Wrong to try selling her house? Wrong to call her boss? Wrong to steal her artwork? Wrong to go through her work documents? And very wrong to break her grandmother's mirror? Red and blue lights flashed through the windows. Mom's face crumpled into her familiar tears, but no one moved to comfort her. Mrs. Franklin, Officer Martinez said as he entered, we meet again. Oh, destruction of property this time? It was an accident, she wailed. On video, I added, holding up my phone. Pack your bags, the officer ordered. You're leaving tonight, Mr. Franklin, you too. Already packing, Dad called from upstairs. Mom looked around wildly, finding no allies. But where will we go? Your condo in Florida, I suggested. The one you bought with my stolen car money? Or maybe Uncle Robert's guest house? The one you volunteered me to renovate last year? You're enjoying this, she accused. Enjoying hurting your own mother? No, Mom, I'm just finally standing up to you. There's a difference. Dad came downstairs with 2 packed bags. Nancy, let's go. We've done enough damage. Grant, you can't seriously. I can and I am. He turned to me. Kiddo, I'm sorry. For everything. Not just this, but for never standing up to her before. For letting her take advantage of you all these years. Sorry doesn't fix it, Dad. I know. He handed me an envelope. But maybe this will help. It's not everything we owe you, but it's a start. I sold my boat. Mom gasped. You didn't. I did. Should cover the car money at least. He picked up their bags. Coming, Nancy, she looked between us, mascara running down her face. You'll regret this, she said finally. Both of you, when you need us? We won't. Dad cut in. That's the point. We've lost them both, Nancy. And it's our fault. Officer Martinez escorted them out. I watched through the window as they loaded their bags into their car. Mom still crying. Dad just looking tired. Josiah appeared beside me. You okay? Better than okay. I opened Dad's envelope. A cashier's check for the exact amount they'd gotten for my car. I think it's really over. Mom will try again, he warned. Probably. But Dad won't back her up anymore. And without him enabling her. She's powerless, he finished. We watched their car pull away. Mom's face set in a familiar expression of martyred suffering. But for the first time it didn't make me feel guilty. It made me feel free. Want help cleaning up the mirror? Josiah offered. Yeah. I turned away from the window. And then maybe we can finally start fixing everything else they broke. Starting with ourselves. The morning sun streamed through my freshly painted sage green walls as I sipped coffee in my reclaimed home office. No more den. No more invasion. Just peace. And the soft clicking of my laptop keys. My phone buzzed. A text from Dad. Your mother's trying to plan a surprise visit for Easter. Thought you should know. Thanks for the warning, I replied. But she knows the rules. No unannounced visits. I'll remind her, he wrote back. How's the house? Back to normal, finally. The doorbell rang, and I opened it to find Josiah juggling grocery bags. Ready for our first drama-free family dinner? Just us, Alina and Tyler? I helped him with the bags. Absolutely. Dad texted you about Mom's Easter plans? Yep, not happening. He grinned. Look at you, holding those boundaries like a pro. The kitchen was exactly as I wanted it. No knockdown walls, no gaudy decorations, just clean lines and calm colors. As we prepped dinner, another text came through. Mom, this time, your father's being unreasonable about Easter. Of course you want us to visit. I'm your mother. I showed Josiah, who snorted. Want me to handle it? No, I got this. I typed. Any visits need to be arranged in advance with my explicit permission. Those are the rules. If you can't respect them, you can't visit. But we're family. Yes, we are. And family respects boundaries. I muted the conversation as Alina arrived with dessert. Your mom trying the Easter guilt trip, too? How do you know? She called me earlier. I told her my apartment was too small to host her when you inevitably said no. Tyler showed up last, bearing wine and news. So, remember how your mom tried to get you fired? The board just approved your promotion to senior manager. Apparently, her calls actually made them look closer at your work record. Karma's a beautiful thing. Josiah laughed, pouring wine. We settled around my dining table, my choice of furniture, my choice of guests, my choice of evening. No guilt, no manipulation, no drama. My phone lit up with another text from Dad. Handled the Easter situation. We'll stay in Florida. Maybe in a few months when your mother's ready to actually apologize, we can discuss a proper visit. He's really changed, Josiah observed, reading over my shoulder. We all have, I replied. Speaking of change, Alina raised her glass. To Aaliyah's new backbone. To boundaries, Tyler added. To choosing our own family, Josiah finished. As we laughed and shared stories, I looked around my table. Here was my real family. The brother who stood by me, the friends who supported me, the home I'd built for myself. No guilt, no obligation, just genuine love and respect. My phone buzzed one last time. Mom again. I suppose we could call before visiting. If you insist on being so formal with your own mother. Progress. Small, grudging, but progress. We'll talk about it, I replied. When you're ready to have an honest conversation about everything that happened. I was only trying to help. Mom, boundaries. A long pause, then. Fine, we'll do it your way. I showed the exchange to Josiah, who whistled. Holy shit, she actually backed down. Because she knows she has no choice, Tyler pointed out. You've shown her you won't cave anymore. You know what the best part is? I said, refilling everyone's glasses. I don't feel guilty at all. I used to feel guilty for just existing in a way they didn't approve of. But now? Now you're free, Alina finished. Free to have my own life, my own home, my own choices. Free to have terrible taste in wall colors. Josiah teased, dodging my playful swat. Free to choose who sits at my table, I added. Looking at my chosen family. Speaking of choices, Tyler raised his glass again. To the newest senior manager at the firm. As we celebrated, I caught my reflection in the window. No tension around my eyes. No worried crease in my forehead. Just peace, confidence, strength. Mom's latest text remained unanswered on my phone. She'd learned to live with that, just as I'd learned to live without her approval. Dad was trying. Josiah was thriving, and I was finally, truly home. Who wants dessert? Alina asked, bringing out her famous cheesecake. Only if you share the recipe this time, I laughed. Family secret, she winked. But you're family now, so maybe. Family. Not by obligation or guilt or manipulation, but by choice, by love, by respect. And that made all the difference.